I really appreciate that President Obama wants to do something, and it recognizes that there is a history of injustice. But to borrow some of his words from his campaign, yes, we can. We can be an independent country. There is a process of deoccupation under international law. There are experts that will tell us, you know, how this can happen. It's a unique situation that Hawaii has, but we can do it. We don't have to settle for what they're telling us, you know, we might be able to have. We can be an independent nation. Look at South Africa, how they overthrew apartheid. Look at how in this country, I mean, major changes they happen. You just have to believe.
Okay, we're going to take two more quick things. Just a little clarification to show that they weren't only Hawaiians. The Minister of Finance under Kalakaua, whose name was Wong Ah Fong, pure Chinese, and who became the Bakun family, who owned huge parts of Diamond Head and got very rich, but direct descendant of Wong Ah Fong. In fact, I think his cousin Eden wrote the play 13 Daughters, if any of you are old enough to remember that play. But you know the song Puka Puka Pants? That's from the play. It was on Broadway, and from a pure Chinese family initially. Thank you.
I started this morning, ours is not a perfect world. And this is not necessarily the perfect option. But the big thing is that to make this world of ours as perfect as we want it to be, we need to be involved. And my only comment to all of you is get involved. Whether it's pro or con, we have to be involved. We can't look back and say, man, they made us do that. No, we need to make ourselves. So anyway, again, mahalo to all for coming, and again, get involved.
Okay, thank you. We started this morning, Vice Chair Deborah Parker came in from Toledo's tribe. She spoke to all you guys and she opened the session, and she said she hopes that everybody speaks with their heart, their truths, and I think everybody did. And we appreciate these chances to come and convene and hear from you guys. And it's a really important process, and what we're putting out there, it's really important for us to come out here and hear what you guys are thinking and what you guys are what's in your heart about the proposal out there. So we appreciate it, and we know it's a work day for a lot of you guys. So you took time off of work. The gentleman here said he's traveling, so he had other duties, for his job. But this is important enough for him to make the time to come here. So we appreciate that and we acknowledge it. And right now, August 19th is the date that's out there. We hear you loud and clear. We've heard a lot in the sessions that we've had that the time is short. And so we'll go back and we'll acknowledge that, and we'll tell our superiors, like you noted, that August 19th is a short time frame. That's what we did here. So once again, thank you for coming out. We appreciate it.
Derek, before we end the session, we have a couple representatives from the Office of Hawaiian Affairs here. I'd like to think if you were to take some time to say a few words.
Aloha mai kako. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure being here. I am Carmen Hulu Lindsay, and I'm here in my capacity as a trustee of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. When we were invited to come up, we were really coming up for tribal consultation. I am just so overwhelmed and thrilled to see all you Hawaiians here. It's such a pleasure to hear personally from you all, to know how you feel. It's so important to us. This is a very difficult mission for us. There's a fence all over the place, and we're sitting on that fence trying to make the right decisions for our lahui. I'd like to turn the time over to a member of our staff, our Chief Advocate, Mr. Kawika Riley. He's going to share the position of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs.
Mahalo, Trustee. Aloha mai kako. I want to mahalo the Consolidated Tulalip Tribe leadership for the opportunity to be here, for welcoming all of us and giving us the chance to have this conversation on your sovereign land. I want to mahalo the other tribal representatives and leadership. I want to aloha and mahalo all of the Native Hawaiians who are here. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and to everyone in attendance, in fact. As trustees said, you know, we are honored to be part of this conversation. My name is Kawika Riley. I'm the Chief Advocate for the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. I was born in Kohala and raised in Kohala and then later in Kona. I spent 12 years on the continent before I had the opportunity to bring my family home and play my role as a public servant with the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. And, you know, just speaking personally, if I may, you know, we struggled to make that opportunity happen, to move home. I went to college on the continent because it's something that my ohana wanted me to do. And they wanted me to do that because they said they wanted better opportunities for me. They said, go, and then decide if you want to come back. I always wanted to come back. But it took 12 years. You know, I'm lucky to have an education, to have an undergraduate's degree, a master's degree. I'm lucky to have fallen in love with another kanaka on the continent who had a law degree. And even with all of those privileges, it took us years to bring our family home. And I believe that part of that is because we as Native Hawaiians don't have the right opportunities. We don't have with the power, with the force of law, the opportunities to make the kind of decisions that we deserve to make in our Hawaii, to make Hawaii a place that is friendlier for its indigenous peoples, that makes more opportunities for its first people. And that's part of why I feel so grateful to get to have a role at the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. This is the third consultation on the U.S. continent that I've been able to participate in. And everywhere that we've went, we've seen Hawaiians from the continent come to listen, to speak, to learn. In Rapid City, South Dakota, a mother drove all the way from Littleton. Having lived in Colorado for 4 years, I know that's a long drive. From Littleton, Colorado, just to listen and to bring her daughter, so her daughter can hear and choose to be part of the discussion. You know, it's made me think about how much of our community is now here on the continent and why, and what so many of us want to do to make it a choice, but not something that we feel like we're forced into, to have to leave our own soil, the land where our iwi kupuna is buried. Sorry. And it's also caused me to think about the limits of what's constructed in the place that I've been so privileged to work for. The Office of Hawaiian Affairs was born in 1978. It was an amendment through the state's constitution to try to address some of the issues that our community suffered. But from the beginning, it was an attempt to address those issues through what was available at the state level. So even at the very beginning, in the first 20 years, when OHA's elections were determined by the Native Hawaiian people, so they chose the trustees who stewarded, who were the fiduciaries of the Native Hawaiian Trust. It was just those of us who were in the state. From the very beginning, our brothers and sisters on the continent weren't able to be part of that self-determination because it was a state-level solution. In 2000, as many of you know, the Supreme Court case, Rice v. Cayetano, things were changed even further. And even those of us on the island became a minority vote in determining who stewarded the Native Hawaiian Trust. Only 1 out of 5 eligible voters for the OHA elections are the Native Hawaiians who are the beneficiaries of the Native Hawaiian Trust that we work to steward. But that's the construct that we're in right now. And for those who feel like OHA doesn't do enough on the continent, I hear you. But it's what's constructed right now. You want to have a say in how the Native Hawaiian Trust is used. You want to have a say in how those assets are utilized and the policies that are given. You have an opportunity to do that through the construct that's being discussed today, through the government-to-government relationship. You don't like what OHA is doing, you can put us out of business in that respect. You know, we've looked at and we've learned from the other nations, over 560 of them. The Potawatomi Nation, for example, most of its legislators, the way that it districts itself, most of its legislators do not live within the reservation land. They did that because it reflected the value that they placed on including their citizens where they were. And most of their citizens weren't there on the original land. That option should be on the table for us. All Native Hawaiians, wherever you are, you're Hawaiian, you should have a say in how our assets are used. This is a chance to do that. For that reason and for others, the position of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, as decided through our trustees, is to strongly support moving forward in this conversation, to have the opportunity to see what you come forward with. Right now, we're in the ANPRM was the acronym that Jennifer used. They're not coming to the table with a proposal, they're asking us questions. The next stage is that they go back, they review our mana'o, our ike, and they come back with a proposal. I want to see what that looks like, so I can make an informed decision as an individual, so that Hawaiian organizations can make informed decisions and say yes or no to something specific, not no to continuing the conversation. I want to see what's on the table. The trustees identified that this is a viable opportunity to protect Native Hawaiian assets, rights, resources, and programs at the public and the private level, including those that were preserved by our ali'i and stewarded through generations, as well as the federal programs that are available, which provide many benefits. This is also an opportunity for Native Hawaiians to have control over those resources, so that it's not Washington, D.C. bureaucrats who are deciding how the $30+ million in the Native Hawaiian education program is administered. No, it should be Native Hawaiians through a vehicle that they created, that they determined, a Native Hawaiian governing entity. So for these and for other reasons, OHA's position is one of strong support. We hope to continue the conversation and see what the U.S. government has to offer. Mahalo again to you all for your time. It's a privilege to be here with you. Aloha.